Alright, so good day, class. Today we'll be discussing sound simple correspondence, specifically vowel rules and principles. We will be learning how to pronounce certain vowels in certain situations based on these rules. So here are the first one. Here are some vowel sounds first. So we have five vowel sounds, A, E, I, O, U. So this each sound has long and short variations. Now, can you please read A, Lyra? A, E, I.
AEI?
Yes,
All
the
of the
first
words,
three.
sir, or just the vowel letters?
The vowel letters in the words.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. A. Apple, grape, bat, wait. E. Egg, beam, leg, seam. I. Bit, kite, ride, kit.
Daniel, can you read letters O and U?
Yes, sir. Hospital, goal, hole, bot, umbrella, fuse, muse, umpire.
So, did you notice how each vowel has a long sound and a short sound? For example, in A, we have apple, which is a short A sound, and grape, which is a long A sound. And meanwhile, for E, we got the short E sound, such as in egg, and the long E sound, like in beam. Now, for I, we got the short bit, it, the E sound, and the long I sound, like in kite. For O, we've got the short O sound, like in hospital and bot, and the long O sound, like in goal and in hole. As for U, we've got the short O sound, like in umbrella, and the long U sound in fuse. Now, this long and short vowel sounds will be the basis of our discussion, and each shall have each pronunciations for in certain situations based on the given rules. So here are the first rules. Rules 1 and 2. Can you read Rule 1 and Rule 2, Daniel?
Yes, sir. Rule number one, single vowel at the end of the word, usually long sound. For example, he, she, we, be, me. Rule number two, single vowel at the end of a syllable, long or short sound. Try long first.
So rules 1 and 2 are quite related with each other since they deal with single vowel letters at the end of a word. For example, he, she, we, be, me. Now, there is a preference for long sounds as you can see like in he. We do not pronounce it as he. We pronounce it as he. She as well. It is not pronounced as she, but rather she. There is the long vowel sound at the end of each word. Now, can any of you give examples, more examples of this word, or would you like to give examples in other rules instead of this two? All right, some more examples for rules 1 and 2 include fly, which is the long I sound at the end of the word, although Y is not a vowel per se, but it is used as a vowel within the context of the word fly. So that's another example for rule 1 and 2. Now, next rules. Rules 3 and 4. Lyra, please read rules 3 and 4.
Rule 3. Single vowel in closed syllable. Short sound if not followed by R, W, or L. Example, bag, leg, log, but. Rule 4. Vowels followed by R, neither long or short. Example, farm or firm.
Rule 3, it deals with a single vowel in a closed syllable, meaning it is enclosed by two consonants on both sides. Now, it uses the short sound if it's not followed by R, W, or L, like in these examples. Bag, leg, log, but. All of them use the short sound. Now, can you think of other words that are somehow similar to Rule 3? Like cat, for example. Can you think of other words like, yes, bad, bit. That's right. How about dog? Does dog count?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it does. For rule 4, vowels followed by R are neither long or short. For example, farm or firm. They do not use either the long or the short vowel sounds that each vowel that is used uh, do not use the long or short sound. For example, farm, it does not use the a, the short a or the long a sound. Rather, it uses a distinct sound because it is followed by r. And the same goes with firm. Instead of using the e or the I sound, it uses a different sound. Now, can you think of other words that fit this rule? For example, arm. Any vowel that's followed by R, that's right, door. Any other examples for rule 4? Yes, that's a good example, Daniel, dorm. Uh, shall we proceed to the next ones? I'm sure you're getting the rules already. So rule 5. Daniel, can you read rule 5, the three different Y uses of the Y sound?
Yes, sir. Rule number 5 for the Y sound. Beginning of a word, Y, consonant sound. Example, yak, yak, yeast, yes. End of single syllable word, long I sound. Fly, cry, try. End of multi-syllable word, long E sound. Story, sorry, very.
So as you can see, Y has three different sounds based on where it is placed in a word or what kind of word it is placed in. For example, if it is at the beginning of the word, it uses a Y consonant sound, the Y sound. For example, yat, yeast, yes. Now, can you think of other examples for this certain situation or a certain rule that uses the Y sound at the beginning? For example, yak or uh, yoke. Can you think of other words like that that begin in Y? Yellow. Other words? That's right, you. Yarn, that's also a valid answer. Uh, Now, so for the second use of the Y sound, when it is the end of a single syllable word, it uses the long I sound. For example, fly, cry, try. Maybe you can think of more examples for this particular rule. Uh, Slide, fly, the spy. That's right, spy. Other words, uh, let's think of some other words. Fry, that's right. Ply, there's also the ply with a P. Other words, but as long as it is at the end of a single syllable word, the letter Y uses the long I sound, which is also related to rule 1 earlier that we discussed. Now, if it is at the end of a multisyllable word, it uses the long E sound, like story, sorry, very. Can you think of other words like this? Like berry, strawberry, that's words like that. Uh, Berry, another berry, the buried under the sand. For example, fairy, that's right. Other words, that's right, Mary. Other letters aside from are gloomy. Most adjectives that end in Y usually use this sound. Now, so that's for rule 5. The beginning is a consonant sound. At the end of a single syllable word, it's a long I sound. And at the end of a multi-syllable word, it's the long E sound. Did you get that?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
All right, let's move on to rules 6 and 7. So, Lyra, can you read rules 6 and 7?
Yes, sir. Rule 6, consonant silent E. E is silent and first vowel either long or short. Try long first. Example, hate, kite, loan. Rule 7. How do you pronounce this, sir?
I,
I, I, E,
E, E,
E, E,
O.
O. First vowel is long, second is silent. Example, beat, seen, boat.
So, for rule 6, it uses the vowel, consonant, silent E. So, for example, a vowel followed by a consonant and then followed by an E. Like in these examples, the long sound is preferred. For example, hate, the long A sound, and the E is silent. While kite, the long I sound, and once again the E is silent. And lone, long O sound, and As you may have guessed, the E is silent. So a long vowel sound, a consonant, and then the silent E. That's for rule 6. Can you think of other words like this? Bone, that's right. Vote. Other words, bane. Since we have bone, we get bane. Uh, what else? Tile, smile, words like that. Spine, that's right. Spine is a valid word as well. Now, for rule 7, we've got the different sounds that, when used in a word, the first vowel is long, the second becomes silent. For example, the vowels E and A, when put together, sound like E. A long E sound like in beat. The two E's, the long E sound like seam. And for the O and the A, when put together, the O becomes long and the A becomes silent. For example, boat is a long O sound. Goal. Can you give other words like this? Uh, goal. I give an example. Goal. Float. That's right. Moat. They all have the long O sound while the A sound is silent. How about the other combinations? For example, beat. Can you give other words like beat, meat? For example, something like that. Or the double E sounds meat as well. Seed, that's right. How about the others? All right, since you've already given some example words as well for rules 6 and 7, let's move on to rules 8 and 9. Second to the last rules. Now, Daniel reads rules 8 and 9.
Rule number 8, O sound. Maybe sound heard in cow or the sound heard in crow. Example, both, blow, now, slow. Rule
Bounce,
number
that's bow actually.
9,
All right, rule 9.
about. Rule number 9, ow, ow, o. Is it oi, sir?
Oi, that's right, oi. The second
Oi.
boil.
I, they form diphthongs. Example, crawl, boat, and boil,
Bout. Bout.
bow.
All right, so rules 8 and 9, they're actually related sounds. They're blended vowel sounds. For example, the ow sound like in cow or o sound like in crow. OW sound, the OW letters can be pronounced in either way. Now, for example, bow, it sounds like the ow in cow, while blow sounds like the o in crow. Now sounds like cow as well, while slow sounds like crow. Can you give other words that end in the OW sound, that end in the OW sound that can be used in either context? That's right. So, all right, yeah. So that a female pig, right? That can be used. How about for the ow sound? Uh, can we use vow? Of course, we can use vow. It's a proper word. For the O sound, we can also use flow. How about other words? Can you think of other words for ow or o? So the Daniel so example is valid. So I guess you already thought up some words already. Slow, that's right. It's already been given, but yeah, it's a valid example. For rule 9, we've got diphthongs. Ow, 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 and oi. So they somehow sound similar. The two vowels fuse together to produce a blended sound. For example, crawl. The normally the A sound is like and a, right? Or and W is a different sound, like sort of a U sound as well. So when it is blended, it forms a new sound like in crawl, and the OE sound when put together sounds like ow, bout. The O and the I sounds like oi, boil. Now, can you think of other words that use diphthongs like this? That use vowels fused together within a word. Soil, for example. Mouth, that's right, mouth. Uh, how about stroll? Trawl. Other words. Uh, toil. How about that? Snout. Since we've already thought of some words already for these rules, that's right, soil, Daniel, we've already mentioned that, but it's still valid example. Let's proceed to the last rules, rules 10 and 11. So, rule 10 and 11. Lara, please read rules 10 and 11.
Rule 10. Oo sound, either long or short. Long. Moon, soon, boon. Short. Book, look, took. Rule 11. A followed by L or W. Neither long nor short. Example, tall, law, wall, flaw.
So, for rule 10, we've got the oo sound. It's either a long oo or a short oo. For example, long, moon, soon, boon. It's a long oo sound. While for the short, we've got book, look, took. It's a short sound. Can you give other examples for this rule? For example, the short sound put or hook. That's right, a hook, spook. How about the long sound? Can we give some long sounds? Spoon, uh, sloop. That's the long and the short uh. Now for rule 11, we've got the vowel A followed by L or W. Now it's neither long nor short. For example, we got here tall. A is followed by L, so it's not pronounced as either the short A or the long A. Rather, it's a unique sound. It's neither long or short. Tall, as well as law. A followed by W. Wall and flow as well. Can you think of other words for rule 11? Small. Oh, that's right. A followed by W. Oh. What else? Saw. Uh, can you think of other words? Raw. That's right. Raw. How about for another L? Uh, call. So you see, these are the rules that we need to consider when pronouncing vowels. Now, these rules form what we know about sound graphic correspondence. Now, once we see certain vowels in certain situations, we can now pronounce them as they should be pronounced based on these rules. Now, can you still remember the rules that we discussed? All right, so let's have a quick rundown. Rules 1 and 2, we've got a single vowel that has the preference for the long sound. Can you go back, Daniel? Can you go back to the earlier slides? Yeah, that's what we're talking about. He, she, we, be, me. The long vowel sound is used since the vowel is at the end of the word. For rules 3 and 4, we got a single vowel and closed syllable that uses the short sound like in bag, leg, log, and butt. Now for rule 4, we got a vowel powered by R that is neither long nor short like in farm or firm. Now rules 5 and 6, rules 5 first for the Y sound. Rule 5, we got three variations of the Y sound. Now for the Y sound, if it's the beginning, it uses the y consonant sound like in yes. If it's in the end of a single syllable word, it's the long I sound like in fly. And if it's in the end of a multi-syllable word, it uses the long E sound like in story. Now, rules 6 and 7. For rule 6, we got the vowel consonant silent E cluster, like in hate, where the A is long, then there's a consonant between, and the E after the consonant is silent. Now, for rule 7, we got the vowel clusters wherein the first vowel is long and the second is silent, like in beat, seam, and boat. Rules 8 and 9, the ow sound like in cow or the o sound like in crow, and the diphthongs like ow, 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 and oi, like in boil, bout. And lastly, rules 10 and 11, we got the oo sound is either long or short, long like in moon, short like in book. And for rule 11, A followed by L or W, it's neither long or short like in tall or law. Now, did you get all the rules?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm looking forward to hearing you pronounce these vowels as they should be pronounced based on these rules. So that's our lesson for today. The correspondence between the sounds and the graph beams for vowels specifically. So thank you for listening, and I hope you have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, pa, sir.